He's all I need. He's all I need. Jesus, He is all I need. Lord, He's all I need. He's all I need. Jesus, He is all I need.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Daryl, stay with me. He's all I need. He's all I need. Jesus, He is all I need. He's all I need. He's all I need. Jesus, He is all I need. Sing that chorus again, Daryl. Sing that chorus again, please. He's all I need. He's all I need. Jesus, He is all I need. He's all I need. Yes, God. He's all I need. Jesus, He is all I need. Praise God, praise God. Glory.
Oh, yes, you've never seen such
of heaven welcomed Jesus home. About 2,000 years they've been in preparation for the moment when we'll shout around the throne. Oh, no, you've never seen such shouting going on as a shouting when God calls his children home. All the saints will be there, all his glory to declare. Oh, what shouting when God calls his children home. Oh, you've never seen such shouting going on. Oh, such shouting going on as a shouting when God calls his children home. All the saints will be there, all his glory to declare. Oh, what shouting when God calls his children home. Lord, this world is not my home. Oh, I'm just a passing through. With each step, we're moving on. And from here we're going home. On every day when I wake up, I see them looking toward the eastern sky. Oh, yeah. And I know it won't be long. Very shortly we'll be gone in the twinkling of an eye. Oh, this world is not my home. Well, I'm just a passing through. With each step, we're moving on. And from here we're going home. Every day that I wake up, it seems I'm looking toward the eastern sky. Oh, yeah. And I know it won't be long. Very shortly we'll be gone in the twinkling of an eye. This world is not my home. Lord, I'm just a passing through. With each step, Lord, we're moving on. And from here we're going home. Oh, you see, we're just a passing through. We're passing through. Well, this world is not my home. Yes, I'm just a passing through. With each step, we're moving on. And from here we're going home. Every day that I wake up, it seems I'm looking toward the eastern sky. Oh, yeah. And I know it won't be long. Very shortly we'll be gone in the twinkling of an eye. Oh, this world is not my home. Yes, I'm just a passing through. I'm passing through with each step. We're moving on. And from here we're going home. Every day and every day that I wake up, it seems I'm looking toward the eastern sky. Oh, yeah. And I know it won't be long. Very shortly we'll be gone in the twinkling of an eye. This world is not my home. Well, I'm just a passing through. With each step, we're moving on. And from here we're going home. You see, we just a passing through. We're passing through. Amen. This world's not my home. I'm just passing.
This is the Sun Life Broadcasting Network.
This is Pastor Gabriel Swaggart, and we've got a very special offer this month for the Share-a-thon. For a gift of $100 or more, we would like to give you, as our gift to you, my brand new CD DVD combo entitled My Prayer for Family Worship Center. This was taken from one of our services at Family Worship Center earlier this year as I begin to express from the book of Ephesians chapter 3, my prayer for not only Family Worship Center, but those who are a part of Family Worship Center through Sun Life Broadcasting Network. This is a must-have. And for a gift of $100 or more. I believe that this CD-DVD combo will strengthen you, it will encourage you, it will help you. Go to the phone right now or go online, pick up your copy right now if you would like to be encouraged through this CD-DVD combo.
I want to thank each and every one of you for your help every month with Sun Life Broadcasting Network as we attempt to fulfill the Great Commission. This month, for your gift of $200, we want to make available to you Offer G. And what is Offer G? Well, it's this beautiful gold cross and dove pin that you see right here on my lapel. As you know, this is the logo of the ministry. And we've had so many people comment how that they are such a conversation starter when they see people in their church or in the office, and they're able to share with them Sun Life Broadcasting Network and the gospel. It comes in a beautiful case, and as I said, it's Offer G for your gift of $200. So please help us this month as we fulfill the Great Commission of Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support of Sun Life Broadcasting Network. I want you to take a look at this real quick for a very special gift of $500 or more. We want to send you the Crossfire Deluxe Expositor's Study Bible. It is a beautiful Bible. The cover is absolutely exquisite. It's got the notes that my grandfather put regarding the Expositor's Study Bible, as well as information that I have placed in this Bible to help you to better understand some of the great doctrines of the Bible. Once again, for a very special gift for world evangelism, a gift of $500 or more, will send you this Crossfire Deluxe edition of the Expositor's Study Bible. You won't be disappointed.
I'm holding in my hand something unique, something that you'll want to get. This is the brand new SBN branded MP3 player. Now, what's on this? Already downloaded is, first of all, the entirety of the Expositor Study Bible as read by Gabriel and his wife, Jill. And then secondly, there's over 800 songs from the ministry already downloaded on this MP3 player. It has Bluetooth connection so you connect in your car or your speaker, as well as the headphones are included. All of this makes up Offer E for your gift of $1,000 to help SBN take the gospel of Jesus Christ around the world. Listen, this is dynamic. This is exciting. You don't want to miss out on this. The brand new SBN branded MP3 player, the reading of the Expositor Study Bible, and 800 songs already downloaded. Get it today.
Taking the message of the cross to the world. This is the Sun Life Broadcasting Network.
You're listening to WXPS LP 92.1 FM in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
There are some things I may not know. There are some places I won't go. Oh, but I am sure of this one thing. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul. My God is real. He's real in my soul. My God is real, for He has once made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul. I cannot tell just how you felt when Jesus washed your sins all away. Ah, but since that day, oh, since that hour, God has been real, for I can feel His holy power. Yes, God is real. He's real in my soul. My God is real, for He has washed, made me whole. His love for me, it's like pure gold. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul. My God is real, He's real in my soul. My God is real, for He has washed, made me whole. His love for me is like pure gold. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul. My God is real, He's real in my soul. My God is real, for He has washed, made me whole. His love for me, it's like pure gold. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul. My God is real, He's real in my soul. My God is real, for He has washed, made me whole. His love for me, it's like pure gold. My God is real, for I can feel Him in my soul.
You're listening to WXPS LP 92.1 FM in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Well, welcome today. We are here doing kind of a third part to Radiothon, as well as getting another fundraiser underway. For some of you may know what this is already if you're on social media following us, and if you're not on social media, you won't know. But let me kind of start off with explaining what's going on and what all we're here for today. But basically, we need you to give. And again, this is kind of a two-part fundraiser that we're doing here today, and we will be back again later this week if we need to. But we're praying that there's going to be some generous givers today to help us to meet these goals. Now, let me start off with the radio goals. Start off with the radio station, because if you're listening to this station, maybe this is what's most important to you, is seeing that the goals are met on the station. So we have, each month, we have to raise $1,700 to pay the bills for that month. This month, we've only raised $245 so far. It has been a slow month, and that's very difficult. That means that the rest of the money has to come out of the church fund, and there's really not a lot of extra in the church fund. So we need the help and the support of other people to see that these other goals are met. So I'm asking you today, if you are listening to this station and you are blessed by this ministry, we need you to give to this station to keep it going. We also have on there on the radio goal some debt, because in recent months we just have not been making the minimum that's required to run the station, and it's taken its toll. I'll just be very honest with you. It has taken its toll on being able to pay everything that needs to be paid when the finances are not coming in during radiothons. And I pray that once summer is over, we'll pick back up and things will get back to normal. But as of right now, these summer months, I think that in part is part of it. And I don't know what else might be a part of it, but I'm asking you to help support this station. We do have debt that's behind on. And, you know, we've shared recently about how we've had some time off the air here locally in Spartanburg. And the reason why is because of equipment and problems. And we're fixing things. I know right now we've got us back on the air, but it doesn't sound that great. But we are trying our best to get everything back in the best condition possible. So we need your support. We need your support for this station. But we also have another fundraiser that is on our heart. You may say, well, you've got a lot of needs for the radio station. You need thousands of dollars for the radio station. Why would you come with another need? Well, because the other needs have to do with our school. And not just our school, but our ministry grounds. For those that don't know a lot about this ministry, we have land over in the Campcroft area, and on that land we have a playground and a platform where we have services and we do festivals and things out there. We have our school building, and just, you know, a place where we try to do outreaches throughout the year. So it's our ministry ground. We normally refer to it as our ministry grounds, or occasionally we refer to it as a school, because they're both located in the same place. But we're coming up on the start of the new school year, and so there's some things that have been pressing, things that we've been trying to, you know, goals that we've had for really years and just have not made progress on them. And I found that sometimes you don't make progress just because people don't think about it unless you bring it up to them that, hey, this is a need. This is, in fact, the first need I'm going to talk about is the driveway. And we've actually talked about this for years, but I think sometimes we just don't really think much about it, or at least those that aren't involved in it every day like we are, they don't think about it as often as we do. So we have, let me start with the driveway, talking about that. At the school, we had a gravel driveway that kind of went straight downhill, and that driveway has been, over the years, I've had people get stuck so many times and struggle, and I've gotten where most people don't even drive down the driveway. They just have their children walk down the driveway, and just kind of struggling with that. And I personally, I'm able to get up and down the driveway with my vehicle, but it does fling my car around. I'm always wondering, what am I messing up by driving on this driveway? And so we got prices several months ago, and honestly, I was kind of at a place where I was like, well, maybe we should just wait till prices come down, because everything is so expensive right now. But it's just I just felt like it was just a time just that we've got to get this done, that there's no more putting off getting the driveway done. So we actually have, so far, we've received $5,000 and another gift for $200 towards the driveway. And we went ahead and we actually got it paved this past week, but that's not the total bill. And I have 30 days to get the total bill raised and paid for. So I'm asking you, would you pray and consider being a part of that? If that's something that you think is a good thing to be a part of, we would love and be greatly appreciative for that donation. We also have some other work that we would like to do around the ministry grounds, looking at possibly installing a fence over at the school that will allow us to enclose an area for the children to play in. where they can be safe and secure, and then also possibly doing some other paving because we have another driveway that's on the other end of the property and so forth. So, and just several other little projects that need done, but they all add up. And when they add up, it's a lot more than what we can afford. So we're asking for help today. So I'm here and I'm reaching out to you, and I'm telling you what these needs are, because I'm praying that there's somebody out there who can help us, whether it's with $5, $10, $100, $500, maybe someone who can do $1,000. Honestly, as I've said, we have here a radio goal of $1,700, a radio debt of about $5,000, so that's up to $6,700 there. And then you add on the driveway and the fence, you're looking at a lot of money that is needed. But I believe our God is able to do it, and I believe there's people who could help. And I'm asking, I'm here doing what I feel like I'm supposed to do, and reaching out and letting people know about these needs, and asking if there's anyone who this is on your heart, that you want to be a part of it. And so if you can, I'm going to have Matthew in just a moment tell you all the ways to give. And if you can give one of these ways, go in and either if you're sending us a donation, you can write on it that it's for radio or that it's for the school, and I'll put it whichever place it's supposed to go, or if it's just for the ministry in general, that's fine, and it will go to help probably one of these needs as well. So we need your support. Would you please get in touch with us today and let us know if you can be a part of this ministry? So Matthew, if you could tell them how they can give.
All right. First of all, you can go online to wxpsfm.com. Again, go online to wxpsfm.com, and there you'll see a donate link. If you click on it, it'll take you to PayPal, and you can donate that way. If you're watching, you'll see on the slides that it mentions to call, but we don't have anyone who's answering the phone lines right now. So what would be better if you want to, you'd be using your phone to give, is to text the number 864-507-9382. And if you've never done that before, you're going to need to text the word give, and that's give as in a donation, G-I-V-E. Text the word give again to 864-507-9382. This is probably the easiest way to do it. You text that word. It's going to ask you how much you want to give. You're going to put in card information, I guess would be what you would give it. You put in your card information, and then after that, every other time you want to make a donation to Sound of Truth Radio or to this fundraiser for Truth Chapel Christian Academy or just Truth Chapel in general, you just text your amount to that line. So again, the number is 864-507-9382. It's an automated system. It'll walk you through it. If you'll just text the word give to it, or if you've done it before from your phone, text the amount that you'll be given. Again, 864-507-9382. You may also mail a check or money order to Truth Chapel, P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. Again, it's Truth Chapel, P.O. Box 1905, that's 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. And also we will be having, I guess this is the next time that the church/bookstore will be open, is tomorrow night at church, correct? So if you want to come visit us at Truth Chapel, we're at 250 North Church Street, downtown Spartanburg, 250 North Church Street, right across from the Marriott Hotel. You can join us in person for services tomorrow night at 7. And if you come to do that and you want to give, then you can just give in person there. So if you're watching today, you're like, well, I don't know if I want to do any of this mobile giving, or I don't know if I want to take the time to mail it, then okay, come in person and you can give there, cash or check, or we also can run your card in person. So I guess those are the best ways for you to give, and we would very much appreciate you doing so.
Right, yes. And talking about things coming up, and we're going to talk about these needs again in just a moment, but I want to kind of take a moment to invite people to other things. Let me say, and for those that are watching us online right now, there's those you may be watching us on Facebook, or I'm not sure if we're streaming on YouTube or anything like that. But if you're watching us, all we can do right now is have the PowerPoint play in because we're having some technical problems again with things here in the studio. But that's what we have, is the slideshow going, showing you what our needs are and how to give. And normally I would love to right now show some images of what we have coming up. But I want to quickly kind of talk about what things are coming up that people may be interested in. Again, like Matthew just said, we have service tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And then typically on Sundays, we have services at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Now, there are some schedule changes coming up, so make sure you follow us on Facebook or go to our website to know when services are going to be changed times or canceled or whatever, and the reason why is because of different things taking place. For instance, we're about to take off to family camp for the week, and I'm not sure yet if they're going to be watching the family camp services here, or if they're going to just not have services here and watch the family camp services at home. But that's what we're recommending to them. Except that Sunday, we will have Sunday morning service either way. So keep up with that. But generally, Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Sundays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. is when we have our services. Now, for those that have school-age kids, I want to encourage you to get in touch with us soon if you are interested in sending them to Truth Chapel Christian Academy. We support homeschool families in multiple ways, and that includes we provide courses for them. We provide all classes for them. If they want all classes with us, or if they don't just a few classes with us, they can do that. They can take them online, or they can come and be with us in person. So we offer multiple ways that they can be a part of classes there. We also offer the option of if parents want to just bring them for school parties and for field trips, but they don't want to actually have them enrolled in classes, that's an option too. But we are about to start up the very 1st of August. We're getting it started a little bit earlier this year to give us some more breaks throughout the year. And so if you are interested in being a part of it, we need to hear from you soon, so we can get them enrolled and make sure we have their books here in time for class to start. So school-age kids, parents, if you are interested in the school, get in touch with me soon about this coming up. But then I also want to especially promote and announce about Pastor Mike Muzzerall coming. And he's coming the second weekend in August, August the 12th through the 14th, I believe. Is that correct? I think that's correct.
Yes, ma'am. I believe it is.
Okay, so we want you to come and be a part of these services if you can. It's going to be a great weekend in the Lord. Pastor Mike is a phenomenal preacher and teacher. I tell you what, I've always enjoyed his ministry, but we got to know him the most when we started attending the IKCs in Baton Rouge, the kids conferences, and at that time he was the children's minister, and I was amazed at what a phenomenal children's minister he was. His ability to get the kids' attention and minister to them, but also not to water down the gospel, how he gave it so clearly and so strongly. And since then, I've also gotten to know more about his even preaching to the adults and his teaching, and just such a great minister. And he's been here with us several times before, usually for a youth camp, but this time we decided to ask him to come and do a weekend of services just for everyone. But he is going to do one kids service. So that weekend on Friday at 7 p.m., just a regular service for everyone. That Saturday morning at 10 a.m., he's doing a kids service for the children, for the youth, and we love for you to bring your young people to be a part of that service. And then that night at 7 p.m., he's doing another regular service for everyone, and then Sunday morning at 10 a.m. will be his last service. So be with us that weekend if you can for those services. Do you have anything to say about that coming up?
Well, I think we definitely need to get to promoting this a bit more, because I don't know that a lot of people know about it yet. I mean, I know that we've talked about it at church some, but definitely I think we need to, and I'm glad we're talking about it, because definitely want people to get excited for that. come out to it. And like you said, it really, God definitely has anointing on his life. And just little fun fact trivia here. The first, you mentioned us going to the kids conference in Baton Rouge, and our first year going, as we were leaving, they were starting to build the very school that today we're raising money for a driveway to be paved. So just little trivia there. But
That's right. I forgot it was that same year.
Yep, sure was. Pretty much the day they started working, just as we were leaving town.
Yes, I remember. We were leaving town, so we had people in the church to go down and take pictures for us that week because we were like, we won't be there to watch. And we have all those pictures of all the them building that. And that was that 10 years ago now or 9 years? 9 years ago. So 9 years ago is when we built Truth Chapel Christian Academy. And it was, and I shared this when, and let me, before I get too far in what I'm about, because I'm about to change the subject, but let me say again, yes, come and see Pastor Mike that weekend. It's going to be a great weekend in the Lord, and we want you to be there and be a part of those services. But back to the school and talking about the building of it and everything. I share this kind of history with people on social media and here at our church. The fact that the land that we have, I think it was 2010, because I don't have those numbers in front of me. Was that correct? 2010 that we acquired that land.
I think so.
And it's all debt free. Some of it was donated. Money was donated for the remaining part that wasn't donated. And we have about 11 acres. I don't remember the exact total, but about 11 acres of land. Much of it is not even developed yet. It's mostly woods. There's things that over the years we have talked about of possibilities of what we'll do on the land. And it's always just, usually money is a big holdback. And of course, always waiting for God's timing on certain things. But there's things that we've talked about doing with the rest of the land, but just waiting on the right time and on the finances to be available. But we were able right there at the beginning when we got the property to clear a few acres up at the front of the property. And then we built the playground and the platform and began ministering down there as much as possible with services and so forth. And then 9 years ago, or actually it would be more like 10 years ago, God laid on our heart to start the school, and we began praying about it. We began looking into possibilities and how to do it, and then looking into building a one-room classroom. It's not very large, but it's been perfect for us. And so we started looking into that. But again, finances was a hindrance. And before long, we had donations come in, and we actually built the school totally debt-free. We were able to build it. We were able to furnish, buy the furnishings for it and everything. And it was debt-free. We were so very thankful for that. And let me say, even before we built the school, we had to raise money for a water line. And sometimes I think we kind of forget that, but that was a big deal too, because we didn't even have the money for the water line, because the street that our property is on, there was not a water line that came up that far. And so we had to, and it was a significant amount of money, but again, through donations, we were able to pay for it debt free. So we were able to do these things, and over the years, different things have happened, and God's given provision, and all along the way. After starting the school, we started the radio station. It was like a lot of things were happening all at once, and they were all very costly things. Nothing that was cheap, but everything we were able to pay for. Even the radio station, starting it. I mean, I remember we had a goal at initially around $30,000, and I think we actually did more than $30,000 when it came down to the end, but every single dollar was met. And then, some of you were with us when we renovated this building downtown that we moved into, which was also thousands of dollars. And yet here we are in this. And so, I'm looking at amounts of money that are a lot right now when I'm saying that, okay, the radio station is currently in debt about $6,000-$7,000. That's a lot of money. When I say, okay, a new driveway at the school is going to cost close to $10,000, about $8,000, I believe it is. And a fence is going to cost, I think, also about $8,000, and so forth. You look at these things and you think, well, that's a lot of money. Well, I've seen so many times in the past where we needed a lot of money, but a lot of money came. And I believe God is still able to do the same. And I know and I tell you, like I said, I got prices. We got prices on these things months ago, and it's been things that I've just been holding back on, and I've been praying about. And it was like, okay, first of all, everything is so much more expensive right now, and secondly, we just don't have an abundance of money, and so like all these thoughts just keep going through my head, like, are people going to give? People are having trouble buying groceries. People are having trouble paying for gas. Is this a good time to spend thousands of dollars? Is this even possible right now? But I just keep feeling like all the time, like we've got to move forward. We've got to do what's needed. We've got to, and so all those things just keep weighing in me. And I just know that I feel like this is the time to move forward in these things. And so I'm asking you, will you support this work? We need you to give, and we need you to get in touch with us today or as soon as possible. If you are interested in supporting and helping this ministry, whether it's the radio ministry, whether it's the school, and I say school, but a lot of the things that we're doing at the school really impacts anytime we have fellowships and outreaches down there, because we do have events down there. It's really for more than just the school kids. It's for anyone that we minister to on that property. And so, yeah, I mean, I can't explain why I think that this is the time to move forward. But I do. I really feel like it's a time. And, this is something that I've prayed about and I've talked to my kids about. And, we just kind of got to the place where it was like, okay, we are just going to have to just take that step of faith and ask people, will you help with these needs? So I'm asking you today, if you can, get in touch with us. And I'm going to check right now and see if we have any donations that have come in electronically. But if you want to give some other way, that is fine. I pray that you will just get in touch with me as soon as you can about your donation, and we will get this added to the total. I don't know when I'll be back here live, but I'm sure I will be back here live and continuing to seek and ask for help with these needs. So Matthew, if you would give them the contact information again, and just invite them to give.
Right. So again, we're raising money for both Sound of Truth Radio, which we did our July Radiothon last week, and did not even, our goal was, I think we had $1,700 plus multiple thousands in debt, and we only ended up raising less than $300. So we still really need to, and local listeners may remember, this radio station was off the air again for less than a day. I think it was Saturday and Sunday around that time, so it wasn't off the air very long. But here's the reason why that happened: because of the radio station has had a lot of technical problems, stuff that we've had to get an engineer involved with. We have a temporary fix that's keeping it on the air, but that temporary fix is definitely temporary, and it causes problems like what happened Saturday. And we don't just say this to try to fill our own pockets or line our own pockets. It's just the truth. The solution is probably going to involve more money. So I'm not saying that to, we're not just lying to people saying, oh, we need your money for this, and we really pocket it, 'cause that's not what's happening at all. This is the money that you give to this station will go directly to the needs that we are addressing, the needs that we are mentioning here. That's where it's not going to go to pay anybody's income. It's not going to go to any special interest groups or to any denomination or to pay. It's not. It's going specifically to the needs of the church. You can I pray that you're assured of that any money given to Truth Chapel, to Sound of Truth Radio, to Truth Chapel Christian Academy, that it is going directly towards the needs as we raise it in this radiothon. So you can donate online at wxpsfm.com. Online, and that's our call letters, wxpsfm.com, and click the donate link. It'll take you to PayPal, and you can give that way. You can also text the word give, and I know those of you watching, you'll see on the screen it mentions a number you can call, but we don't have anyone answering that phone right now, so if you would, I know the slide is showing up, but please, if you would kind of ignore it and don't call that number today. Instead, if you would text the word give, Give, to 864-507-9382. 864-507-9382, and it'll ask you for the information on your card, how much you want to give. It works electronically, quickly. It's not a live person, so you don't have to wait a long time for them to respond. It's a quick, automated system that should be able to help you give your donation that way. Again, that number is 864-507-9382. You can also mail a check or money order to P.O. Box 1905, that's 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. If you just put Truth Chapel, P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. And if none of those methods work for you, well, guess what? We're going to be here in person tomorrow night, Wednesday at 7. And that's for our Wednesday evening service that we have. We're going to have music and then teaching. And Mother, I believe you're teaching, right?
I am.
Do you want to give us a little teaser of what you're teaching on, or do you not want to reveal that?
Well, right now on Wednesdays, unless God changes me between now and then, but I've been doing a series on false teachings in the church, and so I've dealt with the Word of Faith movement. I've dealt with last week it was wrong views about hell. How many ministers out there don't even believe in a hell anymore, or believe in what they call ultimate reconciliation, where we're all going to end up in heaven anyway. And so I dealt with that, and I can't remember. I think I've dealt with some others so far, and I don't remember which one I have on my list to do tomorrow night. But that's what we'll be doing, is dealing with another false teaching, and it's controversial because I not only named the teaching, but I also named the preachers, and that's where it gets hard, because it's one thing to say, okay, this is being taught and this is wrong, and everybody is like, yeah, I agree, this is wrong, this doesn't line up with the Bible. But then when you name the preacher, you risk naming a preacher that they listen to, and they don't realize that that preacher teaches that, and then it becomes like, and that's where over the years, and I we've pastored this church for 18 years now, or almost 18 years, right? Yeah. And so, and that's been one of the things that have cost us a lot of people, because we name names, and next thing you know, they don't want to come to our church anymore because it stepped on our toes. And I thank God that we have people right now that I believe they really want to know the truth, and they are, they've been very receptive on Wednesday nights since I've been doing this teaching. They've been very receptive to the things I've said, and just, and I thank God for that. But we've had some people in the past who weren't as happy to hear the truth being preached like that. But that's what we're doing right now on Wednesdays, unless God changes us in a different direction.
All right, so make sure you come out for that. It's going to be maybe a little bit convicting. You may not like what you hear, but we need to hear the voice of God, not just what we, our own thoughts and opinions of this is what makes me comfortable, this is what feels good to me, but we need to hear the truth. And that's why we call ourselves Truth Chapel, Sound of Truth Radio, for that purpose, because our desire is the truth. That's our desire, to get to you. So come out tomorrow night for that service, and if you have a gift and again, our goals, we're still needing about $1,500 for this radio station. For the bare minimum. Really, we could use much more than that, both to pay off the shortfalls that we've had over the past few months, and possibly to help us get a more permanent solution to keeping the station on the air locally and to getting it at fuller power, better volume, better sound quality. And so really we could use much more than that, but I mean at least $1,500 for the radio. And then for our goal for the school, you said it's probably going to be about $8,000, so I'm going to just roughly a little less than $4,000 maybe for paving the driveway. And that amount is needed within the next, I guess we're on, 28, 27 days now.
Yes.
That amount is needed. And then also, she wants to raise money for a fence around the school, which I said because we were just talking about before, and I'm not a huge fan of the fence idea personally. But she can explain that more as to why she thinks that should be there. But the first goal is a driveway, as that we have, just 28, 27 days left to pay that. So that is the first goal. And then after paying off the driveway, she'd love to put a fence around the school as well, which she can explain more. But anyhow, these aren't, by the way, this isn't just frivolous spending. If you were involved in Truth Chapel Christian Academy, I'm sure you know that driveway was terrible. Now, it's not anymore. It actually has been paved. So, again, we're not, saying pay this money and then we'll pave it. It's paved, but they're giving us a certain amount of days to pave them. They've already done the work.
The company that we were dealing with, they were about to get busy on a really big project, and they said if we don't do it now, we won't do it till fall, and school's about to start in 2 weeks. So we were like, let's just go ahead and do it, and we'll get the money raised. Right. So, yes, and it was definitely much, much needed.
All right, so it's paved, it looks good, it feels good, and it, hopefully will help the people who are, attending that school. And like she said earlier, we would love to have even more. If you want to get on Facebook right now, this is streaming on the Truth Chapel Christian Academy page, at least it should be. I set it up to do that. And so if you want to send a message to that page or get in whatever way to get in touch with us regarding the school, then please do that, because as she said, we've only got a couple of weeks left until the school year starts back. So it's not just frivolous spending. I guarantee you this. I believe really that this driveway was worth it. I think we should, just my personal thought, I think we should try to do things as cheaply as possible and not just spend and spend. But I also think we need to be as professional as possible. Yeah. Be as polished as possible, because we want to. I think we want to present the gospel in that way. So trying to hit that balance between not spending a lot and also doing what needs to be done to present. It's not good for people to send their kids to a school where they can't even go down the driveway to that school. Right. Or it's somewhat easy to get down. The hard thing is getting up. And that school's also been used before, I know, for Young at Heart fellowships. And I remember seeing after one of those a few new ruts in the driveway and saying, yeah, I think a few of them must have had a hard time getting out of here. So the school really has several uses. I mean, it can be used for other church activities as well.
Monday night,
that's true. Truth Chapel Bible School. So there's really a lot of uses for that school, and that driveway could have a lot of uses too. And it's not frivolous for the radio. None of it's frivolous spending. Everything is what is required. I think some amount of the money is for a license to play music on here. Some amount of the money is for the tower site that we have. But none of this is just, this is the money that we want. This is what we need to keep going. And we believe God meets all of our needs, but we're asking you, would you be a part of meeting that need? Would God desire to use you to help meet our needs, not our personal needs? We're asking you to pay our mortgage, or to pay for us to go out to eat or something like that. We're asking you to pay for the ministry's needs, because the ministry is not just for us. We all have a part to play in it, and we're asking if your part would be to give. I'm going to hand it back over to you. I'll work on this.
Right. Yes, we, again, looking at the radio station for a moment, as I've shared already, I know locally, for our local listeners, we've had some time down due to problems. And I know I feel every time I come and say, we're having problems, I feel really bad about it, because I know you're probably getting tired of hearing us say this, but we have done everything we can to do certain things. And as I've shared before, my husband, he was the technical person. I'm not
totally ignorant when it comes to technical things, but I definitely did not know as much as he did about the technical things. And so a lot of times he fixed it himself. If it was technical and needed fixing, he took care of it. And we did have problems even when he was here, but he always knew what to do about the problems. I don't, and I've had to reach out to other people for help. But I'll tell you what, I've also spent many hours on the internet researching myself, and in fact, the reason that we are on the air right now is because I was praying and looking, and it was like the Lord just planted something in my heart, and I was like, I know we can do this. This will work, and it did. It worked. I know it doesn't sound as great as it usually does, but it worked. And so we're trying as best as we can to learn all the technical things and make sure everything's running the way it should technically. But again, that was my husband's strong suit, and so without him, we're just trying to find our way through this. But we know that this ministry, what it does is good and right. We know the message that goes forth is good and right. We know this is what people need. So we are fighting and doing everything we can to ensure that it can continue going. We are totally invested in this. And so, but let me, again, when we're off the air, it doesn't mean our bills change. Our bills stay the same. We still have those bills. And then when we are on the air, the bills are definitely there. And so we're asking you, we're doing all that we can to keep this work going, but it takes the help of some financial supporters. We can't totally fund it ourselves either. That's not possible. And so we're asking you, will you help to take care of the financial side of the station to make sure that the bills are paid so that we can continue doing this work? And again, it's been really hard. It not just when you're dealing with the technical things, but then you start dealing with financial things too. It's like Satan is throwing everything possible at you. You're just like, okay, God, I'm still trying to do this, but I don't know how I can keep doing this. And so I'm asking you, be a part of the solution to the problem. And I pray about giving and pray about how much to give and be a part of it if you at all possibly can. And again, I know I'm sitting here talking about needing thousands of dollars for the radio, thousands of dollars for the ministry grounds, and you may say, I don't have thousands of dollars. That's okay. Do what you can, whether it's $5 or $10 or $15, because guess what? Every dollar will add up, and it will amount to what is needed. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, pray about what you can give and be a part of seeing that this work is able to continue forward. And so we need your support today. Again, let me say back to talking about raising money for the ministry grounds, as I believe Matthew was pointing out, the school building is not just used for the school kids, because if you look at that, you may say, first of all, well, if the ones attending want a driveway bad enough, then they should pay for it, or then they don't have a driveway. But it is used by more than that, and honestly, the people attending the school, they do pay tuition. They do pay a lot to have this school ran, to pay for the power bill and the water bill and everything else that comes with running the school to keep all that going. And but the school building is used for both the school, it's used for the Bible school that we have, and we'll be announcing soon those classes and advertising for those. We would love for you to be with us in the Bible classes on Monday nights. We have 2 on Monday, and you can be in both or either one, just depending on what you'd like to do. And then we also have, when we have camps in the summer, we take kids over there to the camps. We have festivals throughout the year, and they use the school building for different things. So the school building is in use by more than just the school throughout the year, and so it's not just for a small segment of people, but it is for a much greater group. And again, as I was talking about, and I've shared this at church, I've shared this with my kids, I've shared this in a few different places. So again, I said we have about 11 acres of land, And Scott and I, we have through the years, we have gone over to that property and spent so many times praying. I remember times of the two of us walking it or sitting on the hill and just praying and seeking the Lord about what he plans to do with that property. We feel like God gave us that property for a reason, and we're only currently using less than 3 acres of the property. And of that 3 acres, really only an acre gets used regularly. And so, and we just would always pray, God, we know there's more that you want to do. And that's been so much on my heart recently. And I've been seeking God more and more about it, like what to do. And of course, there's different things that Scott and I have talked about over the years. And it's like in my mind, I'm like, well, we could do this. This is something we've talked about doing. Or we could do this. This is something we've talked about doing. But, I've got to wait on God's timing on all that, and I've got to wait on God's direction on everything. And but nonetheless, there's just been this pressing urgency in me to use that property more. And even before Scott passed away, that was on his mind, because he told me, and we started doing these events, he said, I want us to start having more outreaches on the property. And that's when we started back doing the festivals. We had while Scott was still here, we had the fall festival and we had the Christmas outreach. And we were planning on doing a spring one that year, but we canceled it because of his passing away. But he was like, I want us to start using this property more. I want us to start having more outreaches here. And so that's been like on my mind, in my heart, really for the past year of, okay, we've got to do these things. And not just because Scott said it, but because that was what he felt in his heart, and that's what I have felt in my heart, is that there's a purpose, there's a plan. And so this recently, I was over on the property, and I was just praying and seeking God, and I was just asking God to bring in that harvest. And for those who've never been to our property, we have, as I said, we have a platform built on it, and that platform is at the bottom of a hill. And Scott and I would always imagine, people sitting on that hill to hear the Word of God. And when we have outdoor services, that's what we do, is we line up some chairs on that hill. But as I was praying, I was just praying, God, bring in the souls. Bring in the harvest. Fill this hill up with people who are hungry to hear the Word of God. But here's the thing. There's work that's got to be done on the property. There's work, because you can't buy a piece of property and just leave it sitting for years. And we haven't done that by any means. We have worked. We have done things on the property. But there are things that need to be done. Our platform has a lot of loose boards. There's places I step on, and it really kind of scares me because I think it's about to go with me. And not a lot of expense, just replacing some things. There's work that has to be done around the property. And so as I was praying and I was looking at this, it was just like, we've got to do this. We've got to prepare the land. Even though we don't see the people swarming in, we've got to do what we can to prepare the land. So, so there's just been that urging in my heart that this is what we got to do. This is what we got to do. We don't have the money. We don't, and in my flesh says this is a terrible time to be telling people we need thousands of dollars. But yeah, I just can't shake that feeling I have inside of, this is the time to move forward. This is the time to do these things. So I'm coming to you, our radio listeners, people who support this ministry, people who follow us, and I'm asking you, can you be a part? I know the economy is terrible, but I'm asking you, will you trust God with your finances and give what He's told you to give, whether it's $5, $10, $100, $1,000? Do what He's told you to do and trust Him. I'm taking the step of faith here with the ministry. I'm taking the step of faith to step out and to do these things. I'm taking the steps of faith. I'm doing my part. I'm asking you, and I'm doing my part financially as well. But I'm asking you, will you do what you can financially? Will you give to help this work to do what we feel like God has placed on our hearts to do. Well, the first part, to make sure the radio bills are paid, that's a necessity. That there's no if and and buts. We may not build that fence. I pray we will. I'm praying and believing for it, but we may not. But that radio station bills, they've got to be paid. We have to have that $1,700 in radio. And we really need to raise beyond that to make up for some of the previous months when we've had to take from other things to be able to keep the radio station on the air. But we also are coming and asking really for thousands more to be able to see this driveway paved, the fence put up, and possibly more work done on that ministry grounds. And I'm asking you, will you be a part of that? We're getting towards the end. I'm going to ask Matthew again to share what's on his heart and to ask you and to tell you how you can give if we are gone later and you see this or hear this later at another time. You can still give at any time, and we will be back another day to let you know how we're doing on our totals.
Right, so again, we're looking for really thousands of dollars that we'd love to raise even today. Of course, it doesn't all have to come in today. Again, you could mail it later, come in person later, but we're letting you know of the need, and maybe God will let you know of your part in meeting the need. If your part would be to give money of any amount to, whether you want to specify this is specifically for the radio station, or if you want to say specifically this is for the radio debt, if you want to say this is specifically for the driveway, this is specifically for the fence, I think the biggest priorities right now would be radio for this month and the driveway, as driveways have already been paved, and we've got just about 4 weeks to pay that off fully. So definitely I would say the school driveway, which we're looking for about $4,000 more on, and the radio goal for this month is bills that have to be paid the month of July this month, and for that we're still needing about $1,500. I would say those are our first big goals, but if God leads you to give to any of these funds, we would appreciate it, and I believe that it will be for His good, for His glory, and for souls to be saved. Amen. That's what I believe for. I pray you're believing with me for that as well. You can donate online at wxpsfm.com. There will be a donate link there, and it will take you to PayPal, and you can give that way. wxpsfm.com. You may also text the word give to 864-507-9382. That is perhaps the easiest and quickest way to do it. You pull out your phone, but just put in that number, 864-507-9382. Text the word give to there. It's going to ask you, it's an automated system, so it'll automatically ask you for all the information that it needs regarding your card, the amount you plan to give. It really is probably the quickest, easiest way to give. And if you've given that way before from your phone, then it should have your information still stored if you'll just text to it the amount that you want to give for this month or for this fund, whatever your goal is. And then you may also mail a check or money order to Truth Chapel, P.O. Box 1905. That's P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. Let me just say that one more time in case someone needs to write it down. Truth Chapel, that's the name of the church, which, the church fund and radio fund and school funds it's not all one fund, but if you'll just, put on the envelope or whatever to Truth Chapel, P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina, 29304. And if you want to make out a check, and who should they make out the check to? Truth Chapel for all of this. Still make it out Truth Chapel? Okay. So make out the check to Truth Chapel and mail it in there, or you can come in person. Again, we're going to be here for Wednesday night service tomorrow night, and I know Wednesday services, midweek services generally tend to get less attendance, not just at True Chapel, I think probably in general, than the Sunday services. More people are accustomed to going to church on Sundays than Wednesdays, but I'll tell you, it's good just to have a midweek moment with God, and we need a moment with God every day, but it's good to have a midweek moment with God in the fellowship of others, and you'll get to hear our Pastor Nikki, or to me, just my mom, to hear her teach She says she's going to be planning on, unless God changes it, she's going to teach on some false doctrines that have entered the church world. It's going to maybe be a little offensive, but it's going to be, I believe, the truth. And I've already learned a lot from this series so far. And we're going to have, of course, anointed music because it's music straight from Family Worship Center, the music that plays on this radio station. You know, the majority of the time you hear music on here, you are hearing music from Family Worship Center and Sun Life Broadcasting Network. And that's the music we'll be playing tomorrow night. And so I know that's going to be good. The whole service will be good, so join us anyway, but especially if you have a gift you'd like to bring to us in person, be it cash or check, or we can run your card in person, then please come tomorrow night to 250 North Church Street, 250 North Church Street in downtown Spartanburg, right across from the Marriott Hotel, right next to the offices for the farmers market. They're kind of our neighbors. Also next, there's a Jamaican restaurant on the other side of us, so that's where we are. Come find us in person, join us for service, and if you have a donation to bring, we will gladly accept it. And we thank you all, to everyone who's already given. And you can see, hasn't been a lot, just 245 on radio, and then for the driveway, 5,200. But I know that's a large amount, but if I'm not mistaken, I think it only came from 3 or less donors, that amount of 5,200. So we haven't really had a lot of donors so far, but to those of you that have, we thank you. Thank you for being faithful to this cause. Thank you so, so much. I believe your reward will be great in heaven, and who knows, God may have some blessings for you in store on this earth. Amen. But we thank you. We pray others of you will join in. Again, you can go online, wxpsfm.com, text to 864-507-9382, mail it in, P.O. Box 1905, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304, or come visit us in person tomorrow night right in the heart of Spartanburg, 250 North Church Street. Please, come join us anyway, even if you don't have anything to give, because we would love to have you here. Don't forsake Wednesday night services. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
That's all we need to give.
Okay.
Head on out, but I pray that you will be in touch with us soon, and praying that when we come back next time, we'll have a much greater total in all these places to announce and share with you. All right, so
He washed my eyes with tears that I might see the broken heart I had was good for me. Tore it all apart. Looked down deep inside and found it full of fear. So much foolish pride. He swept away the things that made me blind. And then I saw the clouds were silver lined. Now I understand 'twas best for me.
You're listening to WXPS LP 92.1 FM in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Welcome to Through the Bible, an in-depth and intriguing study of God's Word that is designed to educate and edify our listeners. And now, here are your hosts, Scott and Nikki Corbin.
Lord, you're beautiful. Your face is all I see. And when your eyes are on this child, your grace abounds to me.